Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Begakar Ahmed and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to go ahead and check out our boy Dravion is here's video. He is talking about how the elites use riba to profit from our suffering. If you guys want to go ahead and just check out his video right away, link is in the description. If you want to go ahead and react to it with me, let's go ahead and jump into this. The reason I want to go ahead and talk about this is because last night I was talking to my family about riba, about usury, about interest, about how the banks work and how they keep us financially slaved until we die, and how this is completely haram for someone who takes it, and for someone who is providing it. This is the worst. The person that is actually doing the usury, these banks. And we know exactly who's doing them. We know the exact group of people that are doing them. We know the exact understanding on why they do it. And it's to keep us enslaved. It is a devil's game. And it is to continuously keep us in a life of sin, destroying our souls, keeping us attached to this physical world. As a Christian would say it, attached to the flesh, their fleshly world. And this is what the banks do. They use a piece of paper that they print and burn as they please, and they charge people mass amounts of interest, financially enslave them, and tie it all to this number we call a social security number to completely control us from the day that we are born to the day that we die. And if they can control our finances and threaten us with a place to live or some food to eat, then we will listen to everything they will say. If you guys have ever watched The Matrix, you will very, very much understand this, as people will fight to defend the system that is oppressing them because it's just easier. You know, it's more comforting. They don't like the idea of change. They don't like the idea of fighting against something. It's too risky for them. People don't like risk. So even if they eat crap, even if they're a slave, if they don't have to take risks, they'd rather just live a slave. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our boy's video here and see what he has to say.
Decent amount in a quick amount of time. I'm going to show you guys exactly what they're doing, and it's pretty obvious. Whenever I explain it, it's going to all make sense. Now, everybody's aware of the 2008 market crash and what happened then. If you were alive during that time like I was, you saw complete catastrophe. What happened to the honest, hardworking people was not okay. That was not fair, and that was not cool for anyone. So the way they rigged the system is through the housing market, because the housing market is the most expensive thing that anybody will ever own, is going to be their house. So what they do is they sell you this house, but what they do on the back end is a loan that they know is not going to be fair. It's not going to work. They start issuing loans to people right at the border, right at the baseline of what they can afford, making sure they're still essentially a slave, making them live paycheck to paycheck, but then they can still live with the idea like, oh, I have a home though, so at least my family always has a place to live and a place to sleep.
Okay, so I've been personally studying finance since 2017. That is when I got into cryptocurrency. Once I got into cryptocurrency, I really needed to understand how money worked, why cryptocurrency exists, why our dollar exists, how our dollar works in the United States, how other currencies work, how gold, silver, reserves like that work, and oil. So I started really, really searching and studying these markets for the last, almost 10 years of my life now, 8 years, 7 years of my life. So what he's basically saying right here is the banks like to issue mass amount of loans to everyone. Doesn't matter if you work at the lowest value job or the highest value job. There is a point in the economy where the banks will go, we'll give everyone a home. And the reason they'll do that is because the market is just at that point to where like your middle average, American that's making average salary can just afford this house, just afford it, like buy like the maximum amount they could pay. Like if it was like $1,000 more, they wouldn't be able to afford it. So what they do is they get all these people into these like break line, even like I can maybe afford this house. They get them into these big loans, right, where they can barely afford it already, and they know when to push most people into a market like that, and they move them all in this consistency over 1, 2, 3, 10 years, and after 10 years. All of those homes, a lot of those businesses, a lot of those loans that they gave out for free, they come flooding back. So these people pay their down payments. These people put all this money. They pay their monthly payments plus the interest, and then they can't afford it after 4 or 5 years because the market continuously raises and they don't have the money. So the bank takes it back plus all the money they gave them, and then the bank resells it at a higher price. So I think that's where he's going here with this. But that's what they do, and it's actually so sick. And that's what he's talking about, is they give you this loan where you could just afford it, but within 5 years, the price continues to skyrocket on these properties. And even though you're paying that loan from back then, everything else is more expensive, and you won't be able to pay your house payment, which means the bank will take your house back, plus all the money you paid towards it, plus your down payment, all the equity, and then they'll resell it to someone else in another scam loan, and then that person will probably lose the same exact house back to the bank, and the process will repeat. So the bank will never even have to like legitimately own the house or have to sell the house in full. They always take these scam interest payments and take the house back, and no one ever ends up paying it off. And this is basically how he's I think this is where he's going to go with this.
See, but that's where they get you, and that's where they fool you. They sell this idea and this sense of security. So what happens during these loans whenever they drop interest rates and try
They sell you, if you guys ever watch The Matrix, red pill, blue pill, they give you this sense of security. People will fight for the system that oppresses them because they have a security. They're told, oh, you're safe. Don't worry. You have a house to live in. You have food to eat. So don't complain. It's okay that you're a slave because you're eating and you have a home above your house. You have internet connection. Watch some TikTok and shut up. And this is how like they've set up the world around us.
To blow them out of the water is everybody buys them at the exact same time. They say, oh, if you work at McDonald's, we will give you the money to buy a house now. Now, I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with this, but this is Riba, this is interest, this is not allowed. This is a major sin, and all these people will go to hell. And to be honest with you, these people are some of the worst. They are the worst of the worst. To do this...
When he says all these people are going to hell, he is specifically talking about the people who are giving out the loans. He's talking about the banks. He is talking about the people who know they are giving out a loan that someone cannot pay off. They're going to make this person work for 50 years of their life, die. Their family is going to fall apart. Everything's going to be dysfunctional, and they're going to ruin this person's life so they can make an extra $100,000 to $200,000. So what? They can buy a Lambo? They're going to ruin someone's whole entire life. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the banks that are giving out these loans that know what they're doing, and these are the people that are going to hell. He's not talking about the people that take them, though the people that do take them know what they're taking, and if they're already aware of what Riba is, they're already aware of what usury is, and they're taking these loans in hopes that they're going to become rich, or they're going to... then this is haram, because now they're trading their values and their morals for a worldly value. They're trading their values and morals for money, for physicality, for a bigger house or a car, or whatever the case may be, and nothing is ever going to be worth that.
The honest, hardworking people is not cool. I'm trying to keep my words as PG as possible right now, but it is completely wrong what these individuals are doing. So they issue these loans knowing that these people aren't going to be able to afford them. But at the time of the loan, the interest rates seem low enough, and it starts to make a little bit of sense. So what they do is they wait 5 years, 10 years, and they jack the interest rates up. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, ooh, who got the loan where you had to renegotiate? Well, a lot of people actually, when I checked today, it was $1 trillion in loans. So there was more people doing the loans where you have to renegotiate than not. So you get this loan at a nice little pretty 4% interest rate. You think that's fair. You think you can make the payments. And then 5 years later, 10 years later, you have to go in and renegotiate the loan. And then the loan is now 14%. That now jacks up your monthly payment to a point that you will never be able to afford. So what happens is all the money you paid into that house, the down payment goes straight to the bank, and then you get foreclosed on. The bank now owns your house. All that money that you paid into it goes straight back to the bank. But because they sold so many homes and got to that many people possible and capable of buying a home, the prices of houses have skyrocketed. This is because...
You guys, they do this with millions of properties across America on a 10-year basis. Everything's on a 4-year cycle. The economy's on a 4-year cycle. When you study finance, you'll understand that. Not just Bitcoin and crypto, but the stock market and the US dollar is on a 4-year print cycle. And all of these things are on a 4-year cycle. And these 4-year cycles are very important. And those 4-year cycles break into 16-year cycles. And these are very important for these people who run things. And they follow these specific steps to control the economy, to flush these houses into people's hands, make them pay all these payments, and then to flush them back into their hands for free, and then to resell them at a higher price and do the same thing over and over again. They do this with millions and millions of properties, from homes to hotels to shopping plazas to you name it, just plots of land. They do this on a 4-year basis up to 16 years, every single 16-year cycle. They reset the economy, they take back everyone's houses, everyone's hotels, everyone's shopping plazas, then they resell them to new people. This is exactly what happens. And they restart the process again. And then those people are never able to pay it off because most mortgages are 20 to 30-year loans. But the cycle is a 16-year cycle. And once you understand these things, once you understand what this gentleman right here is saying, which is very, very, very amazing, that there's other human beings out there that are actually sharing this information online and very, very confident in what they're saying. You guys need to understand that, like, Listening and hearing people with these perspectives is very important because he understands how money works, obviously. The people who are selling you and giving you loans are never going to tell you how money works. They don't want you to know how money works so they can rob you, so they can take as much money from you. Why would they want you to know how money works? That gives them a disadvantage. They want to know how the money works and keep you stupid so that you keep throwing your money at them. And that's how this works. It's very, very sad. It's very sick. And this is why it's one of the worst sins in the world. Eventually, the United States dollar will collapse. And when the United States dollar will collapse, people will end up killing each other, eating each other, stealing from each other. All because of a piece of paper. All because of this. As if it had any value to begin with. It never did. And that's the funny thing, is they burn and print these as they please. But you know what's going to happen? This usury, this riba that has been placed on everyone, that has turned everyone into a slave, once you take away what is enslaving them, they're not going to know how to act. Once you take that dollar away, once you collapse that dollar, they're going to be acting like animals. And this is why riba, this is why usury, not just from the person that's placing on them, but taking a usury is wrong because it turns you into an animal. You start living for this rather than living for your soul, rather than living for your creator, rather than living for the environment around you, the universe that is set up around you. You start living this fake life for fake paper and fake buildings and fake microphones and fake everything. Fake cell phones. It's all garbage.
Based off supply and demand. The supply for houses didn't change much. They only issue permits for a certain amount of homes to be built. But the demand went through the roof because they said everybody's capable of buying them. So now a $300,000 house is a $550,000 house. And you can't afford that. So they're going to take it back from you and then they're going to go sell it onto the market. And not only are they going to sell it, they're going to batch sell it to Scientologists like Grant Cardone that are on the inside. And so we saw this happen during Bush. We saw this happen during 2008. And we're like, okay, this happened. Let's not let this happen again. The housing market's never gone down since then. So hopefully let's not make the same mistakes. Well, guess what? They just did the exact same thing. When everybody was issuing those loans during like 2018, 2019.
I'm going to pause them real quick. Yes, brother. You are absolutely right. They're doing the same exact thing they did in 2008. There is no difference in the move. It is the same exact move, same exact way the money's moving and flowing. They're doing the same exact thing as they did in 2008. 100% right. The only difference is this is going to hurt a lot more than 2008 because the money has maybe 10x as far as like market cap on the whole entire economy. So like the amount of money that's flowing now is ridiculous. We have millions and millions of dollars being sent like water. And when the US dollar crashes and collapses and these properties collapse, it's not going to feel like 2008. It's going to feel like the Great Depression in 1930. So that is very, very important, and I'm very happy that he went ahead and mentioned that.
I'm not going to say the cold that was going around because this video might not go very far. But during that time, everybody bought houses, and it was blatantly obvious what they were doing. They were setting up a second 2008 market crash. Now, this will absolutely tank and demolish the economy because when the housing market goes down, so does construction. But let me teach you guys something that's really interesting. You can actually make substantial, just significant amounts of money off the downfall of the economy. In fact, you can actually make more money from the economy crashing than the economy going up. And I know that sounds bizarre, and I know that sounds crazy, but it is true. So think about this. Say it is called...
Unfortunately, I've been warning my friends and family. I've been warning my followers on YouTube, actually for 3 years exactly now. Rapidly for the last 2 years, that 2024 going into 2025 is going to be a very big year for opportunity. If you have a lot, it is a very risky year for you. You might lose a lot. But if you have nothing, this is your opportunity to get a lot from nothing. And it's because everything is going to become the price of nothing. The people who have money and lose that money and have debts and have to pay back debts are going to be in big trouble. The people who even are poor, like even if I have $20 in my name, as long as I don't have debts, as long as they're not taking my house and my food and my whatever, and I own the things around me, even if I'm poor, even if I have $20, I'm still richer than the guy who had a $2 million loan on a building or a house, who lost that building or house to the bank and still owes the loan. See, these are the things, this bankruptcy and these things like this, they're made to enslave you, right? And when these economic crashes come, the people who win are the people with liquid cash, not the people who are being used by riba, not the people who are using credit and the bank's money. The people who win during these times are the people who have liquid cash, liquid assets, people who are not in debt, people who have not indebted themselves to the system. And it's very, very sad to see because me just holding this $20 is debt. This is minus $20. This is not a positive $20. Every time I spend this $20, it deduces and reduces the value of this dollar. This dollar becomes weaker and weaker and weaker every time I pass this on. And if you guys understand money and you understand how the US dollar works, you would know that the whole entire world we live in is completely fake. It's completely fake, and once you understand that, you don't want to work anymore. You don't want to slave and bust your butt for money anymore. The only reason you want to work and do things are for your family, or for the people around you, is for your community, is to help people, not to work and bust your butt for some Jewish banker so you can pay off some interest loan on a house that you're never going to pay off, that he's going to take back from you anyways. It's actually ridiculous.
Short selling, but let me explain it. Say a brand new iPhone comes out. Brand new iPhone 37 comes out, and it is $1,000 on day one. And say your friend buys a couple of them, he has an extra one, right? And so you borrow this iPhone from your friend, and your friend says, hey, just pay me back at some point in time. You can have this one. So your friend loans you this $1,000 iPhone that just came out, and you immediately put it on OfferUp or Craigslist, and you sell it immediately. So you sold this iPhone at $1,000, and then 6 months later,
You wait.
the cost of that exact same iPhone is, say, it's $700. It went down in value. It's not the newest thing anymore. Nobody really cares because everybody bought it immediately. 6 months later, that iPhone's only $700. So you go on eBay, you buy that cell phone, and then you give it back to your friend, and you say, here you go, you can have your iPhone back. Well, you just made $300 from the value dropping of that iPhone.
I've never heard someone explain short selling so simple. Like, that was such a simple way to explain how a short sale works. You are basically buying... How to explain this? You're buying something at a lower price before it hits that price, essentially. So you're like betting on... like he's saying, he's like, okay, well, I know this iPhone's $1,000 now, but in a year, based on my knowledge, it's going to be $700-800, maybe less, right? So I'll just sell the iPhone now, take the $1,000, put it on the side, and then when the market value drops, I'll sell it back to my friend or give it back to my friend or whoever else for that price, that $700 price point, right? And at that point in time, I'll pocket $300. I'll pocket the difference because the value of the phone drops. So my friend lost out. He let me borrow it. He lost out because he let me borrow it, but he got his phone back, and I got $300, and that's how he's looking at it. And this should be completely illegal, but this is short selling. This is how it works, and this is how it works on the stock market. This is how it works in crypto markets, and this causes major volatility on specific markets, and it allows people to sell a lot more than they even have, right? To force a sale on a market where they're not actually buying in or selling anything of it. So they're allowed to come in and put money against buyers without actually buying the stock and selling it. So there's a difference between someone who buys stock or buys Bitcoin and then sells it, which makes the market go down, and then someone who doesn't own the stock at all and can just buy against it, just force money against it, which is completely crazy to me.
Everything about what I just...
Like, how do you sell stock you don't own? How do you sell an iPhone that you don't own? Yeah, exactly. You borrow it from your friend, you sell your friend's iPhone, and then you feed your friend the lower value in a couple months, and you take the difference. That's exactly what short selling is, and it should be completely illegal, and it's completely haram in my eyes. If it's coming to investing, short selling should be haram. Even though, yes, I have short sold before, I have learned how short selling works by experimenting it with myself. It should be illegal, and it is 100% haram in the eyes of riba, interest, usury, and all of these other laws.
Explain to you guys, should be severely illegal and should be punishable by law. These people...
Exactly. That's what I just said. It should be severely illegal and punishable by law. I 100% agree with you.
should never get out of prison for being able to...
Like, why should someone be able to invest against my company? Like, if you believe in my company, invest your money in it. If you don't believe in my company, you should not be able to invest money against it. Like, that is insanity to me. Like, someone who doesn't like Elon Musk can come in and short his company $2 billion. Like, that eats against $2 billion of investment money. Like, there's people investing in his company because they believe in him and he wants to use that money to create more Tesla cars or whatever the case may be. And then there's people out there shorting against that, eating his investors' money back out because they're spending money against it. It makes absolutely no sense.
I don't have to tell you the names of the individuals who came up with this scam, because it really is. It is a scam. This is fraud. Now, here's the kicker. The reason why I was able to make that money wasn't because of this. Now, although I was taught this and I discovered this scam where you make money from the downfall of an economy, me and you were not allowed to do this. You are not allowed to do this because there is a PDT law. the pattern day trading law. So unless you have a Series 7 license or a boatload of money to be able to be on the inside, you're not allowed to do these kind of trades. You're not.
And that's why I'm in crypto. I'm in crypto because the stock market, I like trading, brother. Like, I want to make money. And now, like, why does someone that is in the government or someone who owns a company, why do they have more rights and freedom to day trade or have trading authority than any other American? I thought this was land of the free, home of the brave. I thought everyone's supposed to have an equal opportunity. Why are you hindering my ability to trade $100 or $1,000 at a time on the stock market to one day trade a day or 3 a week, and then if I break that threshold you'll let me do it, but then you'll just like ban my account or you'll take my money or you'll like, it's actually insane, like how they control people. Like, they don't want people to enter the stock market and make money. They want people to enter the stock market and lose money. And if you're making money, then they come and they penalize you for making money, or they take it all and they try and sue you and take you to court. It's actually incredibly insane the way that the stock market works, and that's why I'm not in it. That's why I'd rather be in an unregulated crypto market that is the wild, wild west. Because if I'm going to make money, I need to make money, bro. I'm not going to be able to make money in the stock market. It's going to take me 5 years to make money. It's going to be a little bit, and then that little bit of money I make, they're going to give me a problem with it. They're just going to keep pressing me about it. So stock market's very, very interesting, and it's very controlled, and it's controlled by Wall Street. It's controlled by New York, and it's controlled by insider trading and government officials, and it's sickening.
Not allowed to short sell, and you're not even allowed to do more than like 4 trades a month or something like that. I don't remember the exact number. Yes, I know this is scary, I know this is crazy, but you do make money on the downfall of the economy, and you make it so much faster than an uphill. See, when the economy goes up,
he's going to explain it right now, definitely. He's going to say when the economy goes up, it goes up very slow. But when the economy comes down, it comes down fast. So people who make money shorting the market or taking the market down, they make money really fast because they can short the market, and then within like a month, the market might drop by 80%, completely crash. So they're making an 80% profit on what they put in. Now, if you longed a market or you bought into a stock, it might take 5 or 6 years to go up 80%. You know what I'm saying? So there's a big difference between like an instant 80% drop and making an instant 80% on a short, taking the market down, and then a market gradually building itself up for 5 years, 80%. So
it goes up slow. It goes up 5%. It goes up 10%. Maybe in a couple months you're going to be lucky. Maybe through a full year you get 40%. When it falls fast. It falls immediately. These people make hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars total, in a matter of months. And the way they do this is from stealing from the hardworking people. There's investment firms. There is stock markets that is behind the whole housing industry. And what they do is they build it up and they let it crash. And whenever it crashes, that's when they make their big money. That's when they make their bonuses. And what we're seeing right now in the economy is them setting it up to fail. Now people are arguing because Trump's a president now, he might save the housing market. I'm not too sure. I can't predict the future. Nobody can.
Trump is their marketing tool to make everyone feel comfortable with the economy. As the economy is building up, when a crash happens, the economy starts to do this buildup, right? And right now you can see the dollar doing a buildup. If you guys want to go ahead and look at the value of the dollar, go ahead and look at the USDC chart if you want to know what it is called. It is called the DXY, okay? The Dixie. And this DXY is the US dollar index, and it shows you how the value of the dollar is moving either up or down. Right now, the value of the dollar is moving up. It is moving up gradually. For the next 3 to 4 months, your dollar, the United States dollar, will continue to gain value and start destroying the UK pound, British pound, and the euro, and every other currency on the planet will start to decrease in value, and the US dollar will increase in value for about 3 to 4 months. After that 3 to 4 months, that United States dollar will collapse so fast, so hard, and so spontaneously that no one will be able to react to it, and everyone on this planet will be affected by it. Don't care what your economy is, don't care who you are. Do you understand? And this is how it's going to work. So what he's talking about is that slowly, gradual, boom, 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 and it goes boom, right to the ground. That is what we're witnessing right now, and that is what they're setting our market up for. What he is saying is 100,000% true, and there's no coming out of this, guys. The cold time in 2020, right? The fake cold. That thing right there, that caused a lot, and I'm talking about a lot of financial issues. They printed money out their butt. They were throwing money all over the place, and things were getting bought and thrown around, and loans were setting everything up from then, from 2008, 2009. I mean, 2018, 2019 into 2020. They were setting everything up. So
But I think there is a good chance it can go either direction. It can come up for a little bit longer, but if he does save it the second it gets out of office, it's going to collapse all over again. They're just kicking the
he's right. He's not going to save it, and they're going to use him as a marketing tool. Oh, Donald Trump's in office. Look how strong the dollar is getting. The dollar is getting stronger and stronger. Then it's going to collapse, and then they're going to be like, oh, Donald Trump is like the new Hitler. He's evil. He destroyed the American economy. He's supposed to be the biggest economist ever, and he's a businessman, and he let the economy hit zero. That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. They are trying to deceive people. They are trying to create a deception within people. Donald Trump is not your savior. Jesus is your savior. Imam Mahdi is your savior. Peace and blessings be upon them. These are your saviors that God sends, not Donald Trump. I can almost guarantee you he is just another puppet working for them, and all he is a marketing tool. The greatest economic president of all time is the one that's going to collapse the economy, is the one that's going to take the hit and the blame for the collapsed economy, one of the worst market collapses in world history. He's the one that's going to take the blame for that, and this causes deception in the human mind. This causes trust issues within the human mind, and this makes a human being not know what to think anymore. Well, if I can't vote for Joe Biden, who is a liberal, who can't form sentences and walk, and if I can't trust Donald Trump, a strong voiced man who is very, very morally strict and wants these things in line, then what do I trust? What do I believe? What do I think? It causes people to be unsure of themselves. It causes people to be deceived.
the can down the road.
It's just a marketing strategy for the Djinn. Everything that we're seeing is a world of deception. They're creating a world of deception. All of the signs of the end times they are making happen. They want them to happen, and they are forcing them upon us. And it's actually wild to me to see all this.
Now, I'm not a certified investor. I'm not a Series 7 investor. So I know the next question a lot of people are going to have is what can we do to avoid this? And my answer to that is just look into things where you can put money. If you do have the ability to park money somewhere, go speak to somebody who's qualified in that and go figure out things that are kind of recession proof. I can tell you work-wise, the biggest industry that increased in 2008 market crash was actually the fitness industry, which is one of the reasons why I became a certified personal trainer. I got my ACE, my NASM, and my NCCPT. Yes, the NCCPT is just an LA Fitness one, but I got 3 personal training certificates just because I was so scared of what happened. During 2008, my dad had built up a business. During 2008, lost everything. We went from a trailer park to living good and finally being free, back to the trailer park, back to the ghetto, back to dodging bullets. So whether you guys want to invest in crypto or gold or classic cars, I'm not the one to tell you where to do that with. What I can tell you is it is coming. It's obvious. Everybody has been saying this for a very long time. I'm just here to explain how it's going to happen. Now, I appreciate you guys all listening to my rant once again. It is time to go back home. Thank you guys for coming on this walk with me. I guess we were probably...
God bless you, Drayvon. A lot of wise words right there. I don't think I showed the start of his video. He's actually showing how he invested $12 in a Robinhood and made over $1,000. And then they actually blocked his account and sent him a notice that he wasn't able to get the money. And they closed his account for suspicion and things of this nature. Obviously, you're not allowed to do what they do. You're not allowed to trade as much as they trade. You're not allowed to make money like they make. All he was doing was following politicians and like major public trading accounts. Everything's public. There's no such thing as insider trading. It is super, super illegal. It does happen, but it is illegal. So he was basically just copying trades, public information trades from politicians and things of this nature, and he was making lots of money off of it. And they didn't like that, so they closed his account. They took his money. And he was showing that in the beginning. He was showing how like we are not allowed to make money on the stock market. Like once you make money on the stock market, you can make money. It's just very hard, and they're going to regulate the hell out of you. Unless you have billions of dollars and you can just throw it however you want, and you're the bank and you're working with the government, and you're allowed to inside trade legally, then unfortunately, you're not allowed to make money there. This is why I personally have moved towards the cryptocurrency world, even though I don't trust cryptocurrency either, even though I believe that Bitcoin and the blockchain and all this technology was created by the government to kill our dollar, to destroy the economy, and to suck the value out of everything, to reset the power structure of the world. I still think it's a lot safer than this piece of paper. So thank you guys so much for coming in today. God bless every single one of you. Shout out to Drayvon. I'm going to go ahead and link his video below, his channel below. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Free Palestine, free the whole entire world from this deception. And until next time, bye bye guys.